After the success of Godzilla, many other film companies wanted to get in on the action with their own franchises. There was Gappa, the Triphibian monster, the Magic Serpent, and of course Gamera. But way down at the bottom of the barrel was The X from Outer Space, which was the first monster movie made by Soshiku Films. They did some other horror flicks like Gok, Body Snatcher from Hell, and The Living Skeleton. You can find all these on a box set called the Eclipse Series 37 from the Criterion Collection. Other than not having any bonus features, it's a very good release. Considering before this, these films were very hard to come by. The X from Outer Space had a VHS release from Orion Video, and Gok, Body Snatcher from Hell was only released by a company called VCR Video, who normally specialized in distributing porn. Bottom of the barrel indeed. But let's see what it's all about. So, some astronauts are on a mission to Mars in a rocket ship called the AAB Gamma, which looks pretty improbable for actual spaceflight. It'd be more suited to be a speedboat. Even though this is the 60s, it looks just as bad as one of those model ships out of a 1930s Flash Gordon serial. So how about this crew? First there's Captain Sano. He's so serious the whole time, I just find him boring and forgettable. There's Lisa, and she's supposedly the first blonde woman in a Japanese giant monster movie, though she's not treated with much respect by the ship's captain. And there's also Miyamoto. He's sort of a comic relief, though not very funny at all. There's nothing stimulating about these characters' interpersonal relationships. They're all so shallow, it's hard to care about anything that they do or say. The crew wears silly 60s spacesuits that look like old Atari jackets, and they're guided by a map that shows the ship's projected course, which is anything but a straight path. Along the way, they chill out to some go-go music and drink coffee out of plastic cups. They don't seem to take space travel too seriously. I'd think interstellar travel would be a little bit more stressful. Their first stop is a base on the moon, where things are equally as lighthearted. They spend their time dancing and drinking at the bar. There's no hard work going on here. This moon base is more like a bathhouse, by the way. There's wooden hot tubs. Yeah, that's fitting, using wood on a moon base. You'd expect everything to be made out of titanium or something. There's also open showers for the female pilots. Seems harmless enough, but just don't drop the soap. That's where the X should have made his first appearance and started banging one of these chicks in the shower. But no, we're 25 minutes in and still no monster. Anyway, they get on their way again and shortly after stumble upon a UFO that looks like a glowing walnut. Then a meteor storm happens. One hits the side of the ship, creating a hole that sucks the air out like a vacuum. How do you fix a serious issue like that aboard a space shuttle? Plug up the hole with your ass. From this, the ship is damaged, so help comes along to repair and refuel. And how do they get to the ship? You'd think that there'd be a compartment that would link the ships like a walkway bridge, but not in this movie. They just grab the old gas and jump across. That is absurd. But let's just skip ahead a bit. Finally, they get to Earth, where one of those spores that hit the ship end up morphing into something hideous.
Look! What's that?
What's that? It's the X from Outer Space. Oh, wow, look at that. That is so stupid. Look at that thing. Oh, and of course, it's headed for Tokyo. Why are all giant monsters so attracted to Tokyo? This thing is from outer space. I guess Tokyo just has bad luck. Japan is so used to being attacked by monsters at this point that they've set up a monster crisis unit. And the best that they could do was draw a large map of Japan on a big piece of construction paper and try to guess the monster's current position by moving around a cutout with thumbtacks. The monster's actual name is not the X from Outer Space, it's Gilala.
The monster Gilala.
Gilala is one of the most ridiculous looking monsters in the history of kaiju films, and that's saying a lot alongside monsters like Varan and Gabara. With that beak, many say that Gilala looks like some sort of alien space chicken.
It looks like the world's largest fried egg.
I don't really think he looks that much like a chicken other than the beak. His design is just a mess. It's like they just threw him together with leftover pieces of other suits and props. It's possibly one of the ugliest monster designs that I've ever seen. And yet, that's what makes him so appealing. He's so ugly and stupid looking that you just have to love him for how bad he is. He's got two goofy antennas coming out, and then a curved horn in the middle of his head. I think he pisses out of that. Well, let's see. They killed the original Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer, so how are they going to take out Gilala? Well, there's one way to eliminate a Gilala, with Gilalanium. It's kind of like Thundranium from Thundera, I guess, or Kryptonite from Krypton. So they load this Gilalanium onto a truck, and in a lot of shots, it just looks like a terrible, unconvincing miniature. And really, it just looks like they're driving around with a porta potty. And about that truck, isn't this supposed to be the future with spaceships and moon bases? Why are they driving a regular truck that looks like it's from the 60s? And at one point they're even driving around in a Volkswagen Beetle. So anyway, Guilala takes the bait. Ooh, he is screwed now. Look at that, he's gushing marshmallow blood. And soon after, he turns into a puddle of, I don't know, vanilla ice cream or shaving cream. The X from Outer Space is a pretty bad movie, complete with everything you'd expect from a bad movie like recycled footage. But if you like this kind of thing, it might be worth a watch if you've already dug through Toho's entire library and are looking for something a little extra.